Hi there, I'm Simon Bello, and I am the writer and illustrator of the comic book series Challenge Chronicles. This video is part of a series of vlogs that I'm doing, or that is covering the development of, well, this series. In today's video, I am covering the topic of creating a autistic superhero, or the decision for me to make my protagonist on the autistic spectrum. Now, first off, I want to say something about this picture which you've seen on the thumbnail. The character right here isn't autistic. He, in fact, actually existed 400 years before the start of the series. Or, I don't know, 100 years before today. The guy existed in like the 1930s, 1940s. I'm sorry, I just wanted to kind of toss this specific character in for the heck of it. Now, in the blog post in question, I covered certain social topics and how I basically dehumanized my protagonist, which, if you read that post, you notice I had way too much fun with that. Yeah, so, like, I have a few kind of controversial, stuff that, let me get back on track here. In this video, I kind of want to cover some of the stuff that I left out in said blog posts. And this is only one of those tricky things. Now, this is actually my protagonist, Sato Hamato, aka Chogi Yusei. In the previous blog post, I talk about his creation and the eventual decision of making him autistic. For the most part, I was already playing around with the character for a number of years before that decision made. And when I made that choice to finally make him autistic, he really did spring alive, because I kind of give him a few unique personality traits because of it, but there was also some controversial decisions that I did make. And I went into the blog post about how I basically dehumanized them. But one of the more controversial decisions is the fact that I made him a low-functioning autistic instead of someone with Asperger's or high-functioning autistic like myself. There was a number of reasons for this. The main one was that a low-functioning autistic lends itself to better exaggeration. It will allow me to kind of focus more on those unique issues, other than what we see with all these minority groups, is that he's basically like everyone else minus this one particular thing. Okay, so I don't want to go into a big rant about that. I would kind of say this, I'm not exactly politically correct, but yeah, and that's kind of the thing with this series. When the decision to make to talk about autism, I try to focus on the unique issues. Mostly I try to have fun. So I'm going to get back on that. Now, I will, of course, be setting up a parent guide. On the website, I do have a Q&A covering over some of the topics. But what I want to show you guys here is basically my moral philosophy when developing this series. One is, where there's a problem, I address it. If there's a particular issue that he might end up having or is having, I would generally find some way to cover it in the story. 2, be open about acknowledging one's problem in order to find solutions. This is kind of a repeat of the last one. What basically means is that, yeah, I am autistic, I'm aware of it, and I am trying to find ways to deal with it. It's more of an internal thing. It's something boiled down, it could be none of your business. Number 3 is accepting factors that cannot be changed. Now, this is also can be interpreted as don't be R words, but it's also accepting reality. What's done is done. That's kind of a message. It can also be interpreted as, I'm not gonna say it, good reason, but yeah, it's again another good message that we have. Number 4 is don't shame people for feeling uncomfortable. Okay, this one I do have to rant about. I do not condone the use of shaming people I do not condone the use of phobia or phobic to shame people. I don't bloody care. Shaming people for feeling uncomfortable and awkward is not okay. You can insert whatever group people you want. It is not okay to shame people for having a fear or feeling uncomfortable. I unfortunately had to remove a certain group of people that any related content towards them because of the fact that they were condoning this. Yes, I'm not going to say who, or what group it is, but you all generally know what I mean. And number 5 is vengeance is bad. Okay, this series has a blatantly obvious anti-revenge message about it. The protagonist of the series vows to never take his revenge. Vengeance is bad. I don't support acts or groups or organization that has a revenge motive. And because we basically payback is a bitch type of thing. But yeah, this again, so you can see I do have some very fun messaging on the series. It can also say that the series is not politically correct. It's not what you may say woke, as it were. The next item for discussion is, again, I don't know if I'm going to be including this in the finished book, but I will try to include these at the end of the digital copies. But for the first 12 issues, I plan on showcasing a letter column, a story called Tales from the Autistic. Now, this is where I try to cover some of the... I may cover some social-political, some of the more delicate issues, but mostly what I kind of do is do more behind-the-scenes stuff. I might even showcase character sheets and concepts here. And I might even talk about deleted scenes. This is the type of content that those on the autistic spectrum might be more interested in, but I do at least cover the subject matter of autism when it does come up. So, if you know anything about video making, it's harder on the throat. Let's see what else. I got that. Now, I do want to I'm going to go back to at least my issues to there's a couple things I do want to talk about. One of the big things here, I don't actually talk about the autism until the 3rd issue. Yes, 3 issues. And I don't until I start talking about the autism. there's actually several good reasons for that, and I'm going to kind of cover that right now. Yeah. Okay. But the main reason is basically this. When I'm talking about the autism, I want it to feel as natural as possible. I want to make sure it come off as if the student in question then is kind of like overhearing the conversation. And that's what hang on. Let's go back here, see if I have it. Okay, I don't. It's gonna kind of load up. I'm gonna kind of read something out to you guys. Let's let this load up. Yes, I know this is gonna be a little bit of a long video, but it's important to talk about. I'll send around cooler. Okay, this is Clip Studio Paint for any of you guys who are wondering what program I'm using. Loading. Let the ball work. Loading. Oh, come on. Load. Bingo. Okay, I'm gonna kind of zoom in right here. Hopefully you guys can read that. Before we get any further, let's talk about the autism in this series. Specifically, this series is about dealing with autism. The key was dealing with. My main core philosophy is where there's a problem, I address it, and I am aware and knowledgeable about one's problem in order to find solutions, which I just covered. Thus, I designed the series so parents, teachers, guardians, and future employers would better understand the autistic individual in their lives. So what does this mean? I mean, if you're a parent or guardian reading this series, all the educational content is aimed at you, and not your kids. Yeah, I'm gonna be blunt. Yeah, my mind, when you give this book to your autistic child, they're going to have fun with it. They're going to have fun, and none of the educational content I actually designed for them. I designed it for you. I am dead bloody serious. Yeah, I see a little bit of a correction I have to make. Quickly. Come on. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. But yeah, the educational content in the series is aimed at adults. Now, this is also going to be getting to the next point I do want to kind of cover. Let me get out here, and I got just the right image. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Quite a bit of blood. Don't worry, I know this video is not gonna get monetized. But yeah. Yeah, guys. This type of imagery doesn't happen too often. Maybe like a handful of times. A lot of times when I'm showcasing graphic images like that, I generally try to censor. Let me kind of pull up a good example. Like that. But I will kind of dive into certain topics. Right? So that way, it's important for you, the adult, to go through the series and see if it's something suitable for children. Because, again, I tried to keep this series at least as... Well, I generally aim it for towards 10-year-olds. Oh, but I try to make the series as similar to what you might see in an anime. There's another picture, but, yeah. But I do have to kind of warn you guys. I started this series off with the execution of a 12-year-old. This is the opening page. The first page we see in the first issue, and we see a 12-year-old child, the protagonist, a autistic character, being executed. I have certain themes of war that I do cover. But I do have a lot of light-hearted, family-friendly content. I might even cover some more delicate issues. One topic is in issue 6. Let me bring up. Oh, here we go. And yes, this is the censored version. Issue 6, I want to cover a personal care needs issue. So basically, Sato get a bath. And you can kind of see what I'm kind of going for. But don't you worry. Oops. The under 18-year-olds are all censored. Yeah, I do plan on selling an uncensored version of this. I think that's a little bit of enough. No, but again, I do try to cover at least a wide range of topics. But mostly, I try to have fun. Maybe a little bit too much fun at times. But again, I design because don't forget, I'm an entertainer. This is how I see myself. It's not my job to tell you guys what to do. I'm here to tell 4 jokes. No, yes, I know what I just said, and I stick by that too. Yes, I know I'm a bit of a show off. Oh yeah, man, should I cover that now? No, but there's a lot to cover. Let's cover. I know, I'm just rambling around. But again, I will be putting out a lot of fun and exciting content for the series as times go on. And then yes, I will say yes. Is this series suitable for your 5-year-old? Maybe not. Is it suitable for your 7 to 10-year-old? And I would give it to him. Well, but yeah, it is a fun series. It is something that they will definitely enjoy. If you have concerns, I will try to address them best I can. But as I keep saying, I'm here to be an entertainer. To be fun. And I really think that really should be it for now. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. Try to keep you guys updated and posted, and hopefully hopefully you guys might get a better sense on what the series is about. But at the same time, if you're a parent, guardian, or teacher, you really should not have to worry so much what's going on in the series. It is still relatively, well, family friendly, minus the occasional shed of blood that we might see in flashback scenes, or the occasional issue. But again, nothing too bad, but nothing that your kids will be screaming home about. Hopefully, I remember on quite a bit. So, catch you guys next time. Later. Or of course, at the humanized. This is how I know I am. Yeah? I need to really start taking in the camera. How to turn this thing off? Half an hour. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Later.